Recording in progress. Hello, everyone. Happy October 16th evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope today was better than yesterday, and I hope tomorrow's better than today. I have to speak slowly for about 30 seconds because people tend to join 1 minute after the start time. I see people rolling in now. Hope your trading has been good so far in Q4. I think it will get better, and we have hit the 1 minute mark. Excellent. Okay. Let me start the webinar. First, get other screens up. Excellent. Okay. First, I will give you disclaimers because that is what the law requires, and they are helpful in understanding what I'll speak about. The results here are provided for general information purposes as a convenience to you, the viewers. The materials are not a substitute for obtaining professional advice from a qualified person, firm, or corporation. This is not a solicitation to buy or sell any security ever. This is not advice. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. That doesn't just go for trading. That goes for life. You should read the characteristics and risks of standardized options available on the OCC website because I am going to be talking about options. Here is the agenda. Glorious, glorious agenda. And we have gotten through the agenda slide. I will talk about trading generally, a short version, which you have heard before, probably. But there's a little bit of a bifurcation now with TradeMachine. There's people who are doing very, very well and people who are not quite doing well. And I still think it's this, actually. I think you're trading just fine. I think it's this. I also want to point out that I'm going to talk about 3 new strategies with 100 new alerts and why they matter. Since I have your attention, I can't help myself, but I'll bring back a little education I did in 2018 on volatility trading. Might as well. I'm starting with trading generally, the short version, because if you have not had success, there's a chance it's mistakes here that explain your performance. So you might actually know options just fine. You might actually have all the tools you need. You just might not be using them. That would be sort of a mental thing. So I'm going to start here. Going to get some eye rolls. Okay. I'm going to do the AI, why it matters. It's a little bit of a video. It's short. I know you've seen it before. Sorry, I got to do it because it's something's not clicking sometimes. I'll talk about 3 new strategies. I'm going to show you how you say, oh, so you're going to give us alerts. Why would I care? It's a fair question. I did this 11 months ago, and I'm going to show you how those have done. And then you say, oh, that's why this matters. Okay, I got it. Okay. So I would like it such that you are successful. Okay. And I know I'm not fully altruistic. I want you to do better because if you're doing better using TradeMachine, you stick around, right? So you say, oh, there's no such thing as altruism. Okay, say that. Say there's no such thing as altruism. That's perfectly fine with me. I do wish you to do well, irrespective of TradeMachine, but if that offends your sensibilities, no problem. I'm selfish and I want you to do well because I want you to stick with TradeMachine. That's fine. Whatever floats your boat. I just want you to do well. Give it whatever reasoning you need. So here we go. First, why you might care about where we're going to go. On November 18th, 2023, that is 10 months and 29 days ago, so 11 months ago, I did this same thing, different strategies, okay, 4 strategies. And I shared 140 alerts. I said, look, 140 alerts. It's been almost a year, so we can see how those have done. And here we go. And here we go. Last 11 months. If you want the webinar, you can have the link. If you want the alerts, you can have them. They're free. This is how they're done. 104 wins, 34 losses, 75.4% win rate, average trade return 26.6%. That is with commissions. 3 of the 4 strategies were successful. One of them I told you doesn't happen very often, right? One happens more often. This one didn't do great, the pre-earnings diagonal. That's okay. That's why you have a portfolio of trades. What's a portfolio of trades? I'm going to show you what a portfolio of trades is. These trades are on average something like 15-day trades, 15 to 25-day trades. So this is 30% every trade on average every 15, 25 days. Okay. And it turns out I also did it on March 20th. On March 20th, I said, we're going to take the same strategies, but I want to show you multi-sector. Okay, so that was 7 months ago. I shared another 140 alerts, and here's how they did. And if the win rate and the returns seem similar, they should. The first webinar, 75.4% win rate, 26.6% average return. The second webinar, 75.6% win rate, 26.8% average return. That's crazy. It's not crazy. They're the same strategies, just across sectors that work. This was NASDAQ 100. This was in financials, healthcare, and the utilities. Oh, no, and energy. Okay, so just, if it works in one sector, I'll show you how to make sure it works in a sector before you go deeper. These are the kinds of numbers you want to see, right? That if it works in one sector, that it kind of works in another sector. If the back tests show you some results that were positive, you would hope the probabilities would be in your favor. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. As I said before, that's not just trading, that's life. If you're out there dating and you have a good pickup line, it doesn't work every time. All right. So this is why I think you might want to pay attention to this webinar. I'm preaching to the choir because you're here, but let me motivate it for you. We're going to do something similar, but instead of these 4 strategies, I'm going to show you 3 more. But we need to earn it. So it doesn't matter how many good strategies I show you or how they've done over the last year or the last 7 months or different sectors, if you can't do this next part. It really, really doesn't. I assure you. I assure you. You've heard me say that for a successful trading career, and I mean the long arc of a career. I don't mean about tomorrow, and I don't mean about October, and I don't mean about Q4, and I don't mean about the first half of 2025. I mean the long arc of a career, a decade, 2 decades. I believe that option traders need a portfolio of trades. Interesting. What is a portfolio of trades? I'm glad you asked. Some trades that are long volatility. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. It means owning options. You're paying money for the options. Should have some short volatility. You don't know what that means? That's okay. It means you're selling some options. It means you're collecting a credit. Should have some strategies that work in a bull market. Well, should have some strategies that work in a bear market. But not just a bull and a bear market, when you're going in between them. So recovering or a falling market, right? So you're going from a bull market to a bear market or a bear market to a bull market. So in less than 20 minutes, you're going to have all of this again. Again. Just different strategies. So since I will be sharing again, now for the 3rd time, an actual portfolio of new alerts, that's my job. You also have a job. And if you've been with TradeMachine for a while, you know what I'm going to say, and that's okay. Repetitio est mater studiorum. Repetition is the mother of studies. Your job is to recognize this, that a lot of people say they want to do something. Yeah, I want to be a trader. I want to be an inventor. I want to make a startup. I want to be an actor. I want to make a movie. I want to be a basketball player. What they really mean is that they like the idea of doing it. So what's the difference? If you have beautiful, joyous ideations, which make you smile, of doing things, but you never do them, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually the only way to kind of survive this miserable thing we call life. But if you're not doing anything about it, then you just like the idea of it, which is great. Idealize it, that's fine. But that's different than wanting to do. If you have this ideation and then you take steps toward achieving whatever it is you're thinking about, that's you wanting to do it. So make sure, if it's an if, you are going to trade, that you want to do it. You don't just like the idea of being able to pay for your life through your trading to create wealth for yourself. Make sure that you actually want it, because if you don't, you will lose all of your money. This is a very dangerous game that if it's just like idealized, it's not like trying to be a basketball player when you're a kid, right? If you play basketball as a kid and then you don't end up playing in the NBA, okay, this one will hurt. Please do this on purpose if you do this. It's really, really, really not for fun. It's really not. It becomes very unfun when you start losing money, I assure you. In my opinion, if you want to be a successful trader and you're able to disentangle the difference between wanting something and liking the idea of it, then your focus will be on the following. You will have a process. I'll call it a plan. You will have patience with the plan in yourself, and you will need effort. That's it. Just those three things. You don't do those three things, you got it. A couple things about effort. First thing, I have some bad news. It's probably not going to be as easy as you want it to be. Just being honest. I'll finish on a positive note. It's also probably going to be more satisfying than you think it will be. And that's because it's probably going to be more difficult than you think it will be. These are just realities. If you don't have any of these three, get off the webinar. Or how about this? If you don't have them and you don't want to learn them, just go. This thing is not for you. Trading is not for you. And man, trading options is definitely not for you. And it is not a badge of honor, and it is not a sign of intellect. It is none of those things. It is a choice. It's saying, I like pepperoni on my pizza. It's saying, I like skydiving. I don't. It's saying, I like red cars or white cars. It's saying, I like to take the bus. It's saying, I like to walk or I like to run. I like Netflix or I like to read. It's a preference. Not being a successful trader is not a mark of anything against you. But if you are an unsuccessful trader because you don't do these three things, it's going to hurt a lot. And I don't want it to hurt a lot. So don't do that. This is sort of the third rail, right? You hit the subway. Those of you who have ever seen a subway, right? Don't touch the third rail because you'll die. Okay, this isn't death, but it's financial death. Don't trade unless you want to take it seriously. Just don't. It's really not worth it. Make sure you want it. So I can help with the process and plan part. I can make the effort less, but the patience thing I can't do a lot with. Some people, patience is the easiest thing in the world. Sometimes you'll hear people call them old souls. Kind of like they've been around a while, right? There's just something about them ever since they were 7. There's just something about them. You just knew it. They were just patient. They reflexively had perspective. It was just born in them. And for some of us, I'm raising my hand. We're not born as an old soul. We do not have patience. I do not have patience. This was the hardest thing for me. Process plan, no problem. Effort has never been a problem in my life. In fact, the effort thing is that I go too hard on everything. Patience, though, man, that was hard for me. Man, that was hard. So I told you what my job was. I'll give you the process and the plan. I'll teach you a little bit about patience, and I'll even help you a little bit with effort. But ultimately, effort is your job. Patience, you can figure out, or you may already have. Effort, you can do something about. This is your job. So our goal is to have a portfolio of trades that historically do better at different times of market cycles. That's what I talked about. In order to make the long arc of a trading career successful. Well, what is a portfolio? Specifically, in the prior webinars, I said we had something called Spread the Sell-Off plus AI. In 2 webinars total, we covered tech industry, financials, healthcare, and energy. Something called Buy the Sell-Off plus our AI. I did it in NASDAQ 100, financials, healthcare, and energy. Looked at when stocks have technical strength, pre-earnings momentum diagonal. I'm going to do some volatility trading education again for you guys. I think it's time we need a little refresher. That's where this will come in. Multiple timeframes, multiple industries. And then we also did something called Fade the Dip. We talked about when things don't work. Okay, well, that's what we did in the past. So I'm going to move everything up and scrunch it. I'm calling this a portfolio of trades. We're going to expand it, and I'll show you in a second. Why is it a portfolio of trades? Because it's different types of markets. Remember, 2 things. It has to be different types of markets and different types of trades. The green ones are selling volatility. The blue ones are buying volatility. Portfolio of trades. Different sectors. And today, we will do 3 more. You'll notice 2 of the 3 are blue, which means they're buying vol. We did a lot of selling vol in the past. That's because I'm a vol seller. I have a predilection to selling vol. But I also noted in the results, okay, there's a lot of selling vol here, which means you're short something called Vega. And I told you last time that we will have to adjust at some point the portfolio. This is that adjustment. Here it comes. Okay. So 1 selling vol and 2 buying vol, which will kind of finish off in a nice sphere our portfolio. All of this is going to have backtesting at its core. It leans heavily on proprietary AI. I'll show you a video. We're looking for strong results in a sector first. It must work in the sector first before I look for the best performers in the sector, right? Or if you prefer, since I am the resident mathematician, I will look for best performers in a sector if and only if the sector performs well. I am not interested in a strategy that doesn't work broadly for a sector and then going inside that sector and finding the ones that do best. No thanks. That's cherry picking. Hey, we're almost there. AI, what it is and why it matters. This is brief, but it's meaningful, and I'll tell you why. Okay, what is this AI thing we do? Because it sure seems like a lot of people do AI nowadays, doesn't it? Well, there are ways a stock moves, and this movement can be plotted as daily returns. Like stock was up 0.63%, down 0.52%, whatever. Day after day after day after day, stock after stock after stock, right? All right, and then these numbers, when you take a magnifying glass to them, they have characteristics that matter. Well, what are these characteristics? Well, I don't know, like, are there large moves or small moves? That we call those tails. Is it up or down or both? Is it often? Is it more frequent up or more frequently up or more frequently down? Is there a pattern? It's called tails, or kurtosis, if you like. Are the moves positive or negative? Are they symmetric or are they asymmetric? It's called skew. Because you take these things, these daily returns, and you look at some characteristics. Okay, you sprinkle a little bit of generative AI in them. Just, sprinkle a little salt. We discovered that when you take AI and point it at the stuff you see with the magnifying glass, these things, you start to find patterns. And these patterns have repeated and repeated for decades. Through several different markets, even during the Great Recession, the Great Financial Crisis. Bull market, bear market, recovering market, and falling market. Bull market and bear market, recovering market and falling market. Bull market and bear market and recovering market and falling market. Our AI captures these patterns and turns them into a signal. There's good news. You don't need to know the details. What you do need to know is that when you see this little thing, this AI lightning bolt thing in TradeMachine, that means it's triggered. It means that AI signal is live. And why do you care? Well, you care because of the results. You don't care because the math is interesting. Well, I hope you don't. This is trading. If you want to have a conversation that's as an aside of the interest in mathematics, I could talk all day. But when you do it with trading, it's not because it's interesting and it's not because it's fun. This business, this thing, for better or worse, it is no greater and no worse than this one simple thing. This is done to make money. This is not honorable in any way other than that. There are many things in life that are honorable. Being a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a son, a daughter, a friend, a neighbor, just a good person. That's honorable. This thing is really myopic. This thing we're here to talk about tonight, this trading, is about one thing. It's about making money. I mean, no greater thing and no less thing than that. And that's why it's not for fun. And that's why you don't do it unless you can disambiguate the difference in your own mind between if you like the idea of it or if you want it. Because there's really nothing else to get out of this. There are many things I could talk to you about where there's a lot to get out of. You want to talk about the Stoics? I could do that. Amor fati. Love of fate. Don't just accept the things the world gives you, love them. Okay, but that's not what this is. This isn't about the Stoics. Take it seriously because it has one singular purpose, so please be singularly focused. It's not a game. It's not for fun. It can hurt you. It can also really change your life for the better. It's not a game. I'm going to show you an 8-minute video. It's the video you've probably seen before. It's about our AI. I feel very compelled to do it every time I talk about it because I'm allergic to the idea of me showing you trades and then going about my day. I'm totally allergic to that idea. So hold on one second. Hypothetically, I have the video. I do. Remarkable. And here's the video. I'm going to be here. It's 8 minutes. You can watch it tick, tick, tick down, and then we're going to get into trading, okay? But please understand what it is, at least broadly, that we're going to be talking about. This 8 minutes and 3 seconds is a part of your effort. This is it. This is serious. This thing we're about to delve into that I'm kind of speaking slowly now, and the pace of what I'm saying is going to start becoming, you're going to start noticing it, patterned speed as I go faster and faster and faster when I talk about trading, right? I'll start slowly, I'll break it down, and I'll go faster, and I'll build, and I'll build, and I'll build, and I'll build, and then we'll be at step 17. And if you weren't paying attention to the first 16 steps, then you're gone. So pay attention to the first few steps. I want you to succeed. Here we go. 8 minutes, I'll be here. Just watch the video, please. Or if you don't like the video, you have 8 minutes and 3 seconds to go get a beverage. Here we go. To help you trade better by using advanced statistical concepts and implementing them directly into trading, we will use historical results. We're going to be implementing AI. That's several different types. We will talk about return distribution characteristics designed for those who have no experience in statistics at all. So that means specific use cases in return distribution characteristics, in particular, something called kurtosis. You don't have to know what it is. Something called skew. You don't have to know what that is and why it matters. So tail events are very rare in normal distributions, but in finance, they're much more frequent. So we see fatter tails, much fatter tails than people realize. PIMCO said that, and you always want to look at the fixed income guys for conversations and discussions on tail risks because the only risk they face is tail risk. But there's also the tail of the tails. So tail risk, and then the really edgy stuff in the tails. We're going to talk about that too. So if you're listening to this, and you are, you could be saying, that's true, I'd like fatter tails on the upside for bullish bet, or I'd like skew, leaning, positive skew, or both. It makes sense. It's a logical argument. You haven't proven it to me yet, so I want to be clear. I have not demonstrated that it matters yet. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm talking about the fatness of the tails, we can call it kurtosis, and I'm talking about the asymmetry in the return distribution, or skew if you like. So why does it matter? So the first thing I'm going to do is motivate it with stock returns. Then I'm going to motivate it with win rates on option trades. I'm going to motivate it with win rates and returns on successful option strategies already in TradeMachine. And I'm going to use statistical significance as our backbone. Let's motivate it with stock returns. If we took the constituents of the S&P 500 in 2018, and I said, I want to see the average 1-year return for every stock in that group from June 2018 to June 2023. 1-year return, every single stock in the S&P 500. The win rate, which is simply measured as were the returns positive or negative, was 59.4%. That makes sense. Stocks go up in general, in particular large caps. The average 1-year return was 10%. This is not me doing anything. This is observational. Then I said, well, what if we took a measure of kurtosis, which I'm not going to tell you exactly how we did it. It's not just the return distribution. And I just said it was greater than 1. This is already standardized for the normal. And the average return went from 10% to 13%. The win rate went from 59% to 63%. There was a 99.9% statistical significance. So what that means, there is a 1 minus 99.9% chance that we would find these results as they are, and that it would be random. 0.1% chance. Okay, let's say I said, that's interesting. What if I took, do you remember when I said the tail of the tails? Remember that? The tail of the tails? What if I said the tail, the upside kurtosis, the net kurtosis, was greater than 3? And again, for those of you that are statisticians, I'd be greater than 6. It's relative to the normal. All of a sudden, the win rates went from 63.1 to 63.9. The average return went from 13% to 15%. Statistical significance rose. Now, I'm only talking about the tails so far, right? I'm not talking about the asymmetry of returns. I haven't talked about skew. Well, let's do that. Okay, I'm not going to go through everything, but here's the last one. What if I said, well, what if I took the tail of the tails? I took the 1-year kurtosis, is greater than 3. I took the medium-term skew, 6-month greater than 1, and the 1-year skew greater than 2. So I took the tails of the tails, and I took asymmetry. Win rate went from 59% to 66%, and the average trade went from 10% to 20%. Very strong statistical significance. So look, as we kept adding return distribution characteristics, how the win rates went up and the returns went up. So remember this. Remember when I said I have not demonstrated that it matters. All I have done is demonstrated why it might matter. Now for stocks, I have demonstrated that it matters. The trading strategy was a triviality. There's nothing special I did here. I checked the skew and kurtosis for each stock in the S&P 500, and if it qualified, I held the stock for a year, and I did nothing else. It's the results that are not a triviality. So I want you to imagine your win rates rising by about 10%, with 99.9% statistical significance. And now I want you to imagine your day trading, your swing trading returns doubling. Just because I checked an annual holding period doesn't mean that we're going to do annual trades. So that's the takeaway for stocks. The strategy can be optimized. It was rather trivial. The results were not a triviality. This is a remarkable finding for stock traders. The ability to double your average returns and see win rates go up about 10% is life-changing, if it's sustainable. So it's a remarkable finding for stock traders, and it should translate into truly remarkable finding for option traders because options are levered. I said first I would motivate it with stock returns. It being return distribution characteristics. I did that. Then I said I would motivate it with win rates on option trades. It being return distribution characteristics. Then I said I would motivate it with win rates and returns on successful strategies that already exist in TradeMachine. Now, let me prove it to you. We just did the benchmark. Now, I'm going to show you a strategy that's in TradeMachine, Fade the Dip. It's also selling a put spread, but only when certain technical conditions are met. Okay? The win rates go from 60% to 75%. The average returns go from a loser to a winner, and the statistical significance is through 32 decimals. Now, I'm going to take a Fade the Dip and say I only want to do it in companies where the skew is positive and the same kurtosis, the 1-year kurtosis is greater than 1. Fade the Dip with tail dynamics, 17% returns. So what happened? Fade the Dip is a winner. This is the immense value of TradeMachine as it exists currently. Current TradeMachine members, you've been getting a lot of value with this strategy. But Fade the Dip with skew and kurtosis is a bigger winner. And this is the start of the immense value of TradeMachine's upgrade. Just the start. We've just begun. And then I said I would motivate it with win rates and returns on successful strategies already in TradeMachine. I did that too. I showed stock. I showed 3 option strategies. I could have filled 5 hours with the strategies that exist in TradeMachine and how they've improved. This is the second time in my 25-year career that I've seen what can be called a statistical anomaly, or even an aberration. An aberration is a departure from what is normal, usual, or expected. This is remarkable. Remember the stock trading strategy? That was a triviality. It can certainly be improved. The results were not a triviality. The option strategies were not a triviality. So TradeMachine tested strategies already. The results were also not a triviality. I want you to imagine now on your option trades. your win rate's rising by about 10% with 99% statistical significance, and imagine your average returns doubling or tripling. That's the option takeaway. These are the takeaways. A doubling or a tripling over the long arc of trades. Okay, that was a fun video. Cameron, our video guy he's just baller. Okay, all right, so let's make a run for this, friends. Okay, there's many more strategies. That was just meant as a motivation. Average returns are up, win rates are up. Statistical significance verified. It's not just luck, I feel like. Key takeaways, imagine your win rates rising by about 10% with 99.9% statistical significance, and imagine your average returns doubling or tripling, right? That's the option takeaway. Okay. Well, we did all that. I guess it's time we showed the new strategies, huh? Let's do it. First, I wanted to introduce a sector ETF strategy. Why, Ophir? Why did you want to introduce a sector ETF strategy? Because option trading is in and of itself risky. And then you take individual companies and they tend to pre-announce or go bankrupt or have big earnings or blah, 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 sign contracts. I knew people on the floor when I was making a market that only traded ETFs. God bless them. I don't know how they didn't get bored to death, but I was young. How old was I when this was happening? Hold on. This was 2008. Ooh, 16 years ago. Okay. Is that right? Yeah, it's 2008. Yeah. Right after into the great financial crisis. Okay. And they always thought what they did was boring, but they always took a bag home. You know what I mean? They just made a lot of money. So I want to show you a sector ETF strategy where we don't have to worry about earnings and a company going bankrupt or a takeover or a take under. Okay. These are the indices that I focused on. So first of all, I focused on two indices. So Russell 2000 and QQQ. Those are not really sectors. That's fair. But then I looked at specific sectors as well. XLF, which is the financial spider, XLU, the utilities spider, XLK, which is the technology spider, XLV, which is the healthcare spider, and XLB, which is basic material sector. Okay. So a couple of indices and 5 sectors. I think in all fairness, QQQ might as well just be a technology index, but it's fine. I actually use the same option trade to spread the sell-off, not the technical setup, but the same option trade itself. I'll review it later, but just so you know. The other ones are not quite as complex. Okay. But you can also I'll show you this. You can also just do a short put spread if you wanted to mimic this, right? So I'll show you the difference. If you say, I don't like 3-leg trades, well, that's not very good. It's not showing me a lot of effort, but be true to yourself. I'll show you how to do it just with a short put spread too, if you like. People call this a put credit spread. Sometimes I call it a short put spread. They're the same thing. The technical open, though, in this one is actually bullish. So we have something called spread the sell-off, which was in our prior 280 alerts, right? Right. That was for basically a market that was falling and might recover. This is actually a technical setup. So even though the option trade is the same, the technical open is completely different. So here it is. In the last year, our AI measure of tailoredness, not exactly kurtosis, close enough, is above 1, which means if you're a statistician, it would be above 4 if you're parameterizing it to the normal, which we don't, because of course this returns aren't normally distributed. They're log normally distributed, maybe. But whatever, I have to give you a number, so this is what it is. The 6 months asymmetry of returns, which could be called skew, roughly speaking, is above 1. On the day, the ETF is down, the sector is down, just minimal amount, just 0.01% is fine. And the 5-day RSI, like the immediate term relative strength index, is just below 70. It's, people call above 70 overbought. So it's very rare for an index to get smoky hot, but it can happen. So we make sure the sector isn't smoky hot. We make sure it's down on the day, and we make sure in the last 6 months it's had a nice asymmetry of returns, and in the last year it's had rather large tails. Above 1 is really above 4. This is a sector that's been doing quite well and is not overbought. So just to be clear, this is the AI part. I just watched the video with music and the cool and the thing. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. This part's the AI, the other part's technical. Got it? AI at the top, technical stuff on the bottom. Okay. And here are the results. When I layered AI on top of it, so in other words, when I use this and not just this, over the last 5 years, 82 wins, 4 losses, 95% win rate, 42% average trade. When I took the AI off, still a huge win rate, 90%, and the average trade is 6%. That's pretty good, but this is the difference with AI, right? The red one, you could say, I'm going to do this without TradeMachine. I quit. The green, you can only do with TradeMachine. Over the last 3 years, 46 wins, 4 losses, 92% win rate, 40% average trade. Without our AI layered on top of it, still a great win rate. Trade is, a fourth. You're losing 75% of the returns. Still, honestly, a good trade. Over the last year, you're getting small number math a little bit, right? And then the last 6 months, really small number math, but another doubling or tripling of returns. Okay. So here's the point. Oh, yes. I did say, by the way, that you could do a short put spread instead. I just want to show you the difference. If you're like, I'm just not comfortable doing ratio spreads. Okay, well, that's effort. Here's the difference of not taking your effort. Okay. Over 5 years with a short put spread, some people call this a put credit spread. I call it a short put spread. Same thing. Win rate goes from 95% to 82%, and the average trade goes from 42% to 12%. Now, that's with our AI. That's the best you can do. That's the best we could do in the past. So if you just want to sell put spreads in this strategy, okay, I just want you to know what the trade-off is. By the way, if you take the AI off without the put spreads, you have basically no return. So the AI is still doing what it's supposed to be doing, doubling, tripling, quadrupling returns, but that's the trade-off with short put spreads. I'm doing it because I know some people prefer that, to each their own. I'm more Fati. So these are the returns. Now, I want to say something. And move everything down. And I want to say, it's serious when I take the image and I move it down. It's like dun dun. There are some great products out there for options traders, not called TradeMachine. They're great. They help you find the red ones. And you'd be happier than a pig in shit. This is good stuff, man. But there is no place in the world other than TradeMachine for this AI. This is not an AI that we wrote and we're just borrowing it. It's proprietary, it's ours, it exists nowhere, and there is a reason I haven't published it. So my other AI that was running the hedge fund, blah, 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 I published it. This one I'm not publishing. This is a commercial enterprise now, and I'm not publishing it, and I never will publish it. I'll go to my grave with it. Okay? I told you there was going to be 100 alerts. This is just 7. It was 2 indices and 5 sectors. That means we have 93 more to go. So let's do it. There's no place in the world other than TradeMachine for the green trades. That's all I'm saying. Next. We've done enough selling of vol. Remember, I said you have to buy vol and sell vol, blah, blah. So this is now buying vol. So what's buying vol? It means that the trade costs you money. It's still a spread, but you're paying a debit. This is improving upon what we have that's called buy the dip. We have something in TradeMachine called buy the dip. It's a beginner strategy because you only need to buy a call to follow the backtest. But the truth of the matter is, I'm just going to say the thing that you're not supposed to say. If you're only buying or selling a single option, so you're only buying, like every time you do an option trade, you're only buying calls or only buying puts or only selling a call or only selling put, and that's all, you're not spreading. It's not going to work for you. Just stop. Just stop. I'm not saying you have to use TradeMachine. I'm just saying don't do that. You're just going to lose your money. Just don't do it. There's no edge. Man, I've met the best traders in the world. There's no edge if you're not spreading. Sorry. I'll show you why as we go through this webinar. I'll show you what we're doing with volatility and be like, oh yeah, I can see why there's no edge. Just, guys, you're going to have to at least spread. I'm not saying you have to do it with TradeMachine. I'm not giving advice. I'm just telling you, in my experience over 25 years, floor option market maker, hedge fund manager, managing director, quantitative research. I'm letting you know, don't just do single legs. Reduce your risk. Here's the technical open. It's the same as our buy the dip. So I'm going to go from the bottom up. So again, it's just not an overbought stock. Fine. The stock's already above the 10-day exponential moving average. So there's a little bit of momentum if the stock's above the 10-day EMA. But what's critical is that it's the day that the stock crosses up through the 200-day moving average. So it was below the 200-day moving average. So I consider that technical failure. And it comes out of technical failure, right? That's why you're buying the dip. It's kind of buying the dip, ending the dip. Okay, and then I just layered on our AI. Since this stock has been a technical failure, I have to balance two things. It's just not going to look good, right? I'm looking for companies where their tailoredness has been bad, where their skew has been bad. But I have these two bastions of hope. One is that the stock is above the 10-day exponential moving average. So as bad as it's been, it's had at least a short-term period, because 10 trading days is 2 weeks. It's had 2 weeks of getting better. And it has recaptured sort of the most well-known moving average, 200-day moving average. So this is like a struggle. This strategy, this buying the dip, is a struggle with our AI, right? It's been bad, but there's some evidence that it's getting better. Recaptured technical failure and has shown 2 weeks of strength. Okay, here are the results. First, in the Qs, and then in an industry, then in healthcare. With AI, over 5 years, 53% win rate, 16% average return. Without AI, 44% win rate, 8% return. Over the last 3 years, 50% win rate, 15% return. Without AI, 42% win rate, 2% return. Over the last year, 60% win rate, 22% average trade. By the way, this is a 14-day trade. Some of these returns might look a little lower to you, but it's a very, very short period of time. So if you want to scale this with the strategy I just showed you, double them, right? Like relative to the last strategy, this would be like 32% and 30% and 44%, because this is a very short 14-day trade. This is a real burst. This is a risk burst. So if you're like, oh, the average trade isn't as good, right. Double it to make it relative, a corollary to what we just looked at, because this is a shorter term trade. And then over the last 6 months, these are just small number math, right? So I don't know if this matters to you. I'm just showing you. That's in the Qs in total. But remember what I said? I said, if it works in an industry or a sector, then I'm willing to look at the best in that sector. So these aren't the actual results. These are the results for the sector. These qualify for me to say, okay, this really works in the large cap tech space. I'm going to start looking for the best one. So we're going to do better than this. First, I'm going to move the image down. Okay, I'm going to get serious again. Same thing I said before. There are great products out there. I wish them all well. There's no place in the world other than TradeMachine for this AI. This green stuff, they don't have. Maybe if they have other stuff. It's okay. This is it. Now, let's look at the best. So we looked at the Q. I'm going to show you this live, but we looked at the Qs, and they were good results. These are good results. They are for me. These are great results. This strategy works really well in the Qs. Now, let me look at the companies that it did the best in and only include those. Well, here's how it went. Over the last 3 years, all of the Qs, right, all of the companies in the QQQ, in the NASDAQ 100, 53% win rate, 16% return. That's pretty good. When I took the best ones, it's a 76% win rate and a 55% average trade in 2 weeks over the last 3 years. And how many of these are there? Oops. 40. Told you there was going to be 100 alerts. I've just given you 47. I'm going to actually give them to you, but I'm prefacing them. So here's 47. So that's our sector ETF strategy. Here's our buy the dip. By the way, I also did it in healthcare. So in healthcare, it has an 86%. So the healthcare ETF, the constituents of the healthcare ETF, not the ETF itself, 86% win rate, 85% average trade. So these are the two sectors that I went with. And why did I choose XLV? Why did I even care to pick the best out of healthcare? Because of this bottom line. This was good. It's actually better than technology. I was like, oh, I'm willing to pick the best out of this because it works in the sector. Remember what I said as the resident mathematician? I will look for the best companies in an industry if and only if the sector as a whole looks good. And both do. Those are the black lines, QQQ and XLV. Therefore, I took the step to go for the green. So it's 40 alerts with those two combined. All right, one more, an oversold strategy. I will be creating a custom proprietary oversold and overbought indicator because I just think there's a lot of edge there. I haven't done it yet. So I'm still using things that are available to everyone else other than our AI. Here's the technical open. It's simply that the 14-day RSI is the general RSI you'll see when you go to a website is below 30. That's what people call oversold. Oops. And here's the AI. I layered AI on top of it. Okay. It's oversold. So because it's oversold, the 6-month asymmetry is not going to look good. I made sure that the tails weren't terrible. So I said the tails have to be above -1, meaning -1 would be worse than the normal distribution. Returns aren't normally distributed, but just you need some sort of context. But we have to avoid the terrible tails because those stocks just don't recover, right? That's a part of what our AI has found. It's like these stocks don't come back. So I don't want to do an oversold strategy where I'm buying something that's oversold if the tails are too bad. So in this case, I'm using the AI to give me guardrails. Okay. So you can do this in Thinkorswim. You can do this nowhere other than here. Let's do it. This is in the Qs overall. 66.7% win rate, 25% average trade over 5 years. Without the AI, win rate's 15% lower. Average trade is a third lower. Over the last 3 years, same thing. Much higher win rate, much higher average trade return over 1 year. This is probably small number math. The win rate's much better. This was probably one stock going cuckoo, whatever, doesn't matter. And over the last 6 months, this. So yet again, there's no place in the world other than the green stuff. That video I showed you, the that's proprietary. Okay, well, it works in the sector. Here it is in the healthcare sector, same thing, crushes in the healthcare sector. You'll notice that healthcare does even better than large cap tech in most of these. And that's why I'm focusing on those two sectors. Okay? This is crushing, right? And look at the difference in returns, like over the last, well, 6 months is small numbers, but average trade of 31% versus 72% with our AI, for example. So let's do the best of those. Here they are. Here's the Qs overall over 3 years. And here's when I add AI. Remember, double or triple your returns, increase your win rate by 10%. 10% of 64 is 6.4. That's about how much higher the win rate is. And with the XLV, the AI powers it even further. That's 53 new alerts. Those are the 100 alerts. I haven't shown you what they are. I've described them. So this is what you got. This is more because I send out the slides. I don't think anyone's going to read all these numbers right now. It's just I figured people would want to see them in a slide all on one page. So there they are. Sector ETF, new by the dip with AI, and oversold strategy with AI. This is in the NASDAQ 100 in the healthcare, NASDAQ 100 in healthcare. Okay, well, so I've shown you everything, and now I have to do it, right? Isn't that my job? Did I say that was my job? So here we go. And since everyone's going to be crushing TradeMachine right about now because they're going to see what they have, I have some tabs saved. Okay, I'm going to come back to the Today tab, but let me just say one thing. If you are a Platinum member, oh, I can't do that. That's close. If you're a Platinum member, you will see this now. These are these 3 strategies now on the Today tab. They didn't trigger today. If you don't know what the Today tab is or why that matters, I'm going to actually come back to it in a second. I just wanted to point that out. Okay. This is now live. This is my account right here. This is production. This isn't my private account. Okay. Let's go to backtesting. This is the ETF strategy. The way I got it is I went to saved backtests. I went to sector ETF spread. I said load. I let it load. I clicked 5 years. And these are the exact numbers I showed you on the slideshow. I want to know when all 7 of these occur. So I'm going to add the alert. Those 2 indices and 5 sectors are added. The technical opens are already there for me. I'm not going to touch them. Okay, I'll have to write myself a little note. Sector or index bullish spread. I've just added 7 alerts. Next. If you wanted to do this with a put spread, here it is. I would kill the XLK and XLU. You can see they have negative returns, right? So let's kill XLK and XLU because they don't work with a short put spread. I'm not going to do short put spread, but I know some of you will, so I'm honoring that. I'm going to take those 2 out. Okay. So everything here looks pretty good. If you wanted to add those, you could too. It's the same technicals. So it's not going to, you don't do it by strategy, you do it by technicals. So just, there you go. So if you wanted to do put spreads instead, that's how you would do it. All right, let's get serious. Let's get to the companies. If you wanted to do next, let's start with buy the dip, the new buy the dip. I'm going to leave this open because I have a feeling you guys are going to crush TradeMachine. So I'm going to try and do it live, but just in case not. So I'm going to go to the backtest tab and it's this easy. Remember I said it takes a process, which is like a plan, takes patience and effort. Well, this is the process. Ready? Saved backtest, drop down menu, buy the dip AI, load it. It will load a ticker. Just one, ticker doesn't matter. I'll go to 3 years. Okay. I'm going to do, might as well do the Qs, doesn't really matter. NASDAQ 100. If you are a platinum member, then you can do the entire NASDAQ 100 at once, just like I'm doing. By the way, here's the technicals. You can see them coming down the screen. If you are not a platinum member, then you cannot do the entire Qs. You can do 50. You can do the first 50 and then the next 50, which is fine. Also, the speed at which this is going, which is very fast, is also something that you're going to, in platinum, you're getting about 7 times faster speed. You just basically have better infrastructure. So what I'm going to let it do is load everything. Just trust me, it's going to look like this. I did it. Oh, no, wrong strategy. Here it is. Here, I'll just show you that it is. So it's just loading. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's done. Yeah. All right, let's take this one. That's fine. Okay, now what do we do? I'm going to sort it by average trade. You'll notice that it's now descending order, and I'm just going to click the ones that did the best, but I want at least 2 trades. Here's Tesla, 2-0, 65% average trade. ALGN, KHC, Adobe, Honeywell, GHC, CNS, Amazon. Oops. Autodesk. I'll go with that last one, sure. I'm looking at this average trade. I want it to be above 20%. NXPI, Amgen. I'm willing to go 50-50 with PayPal, Comcast. Okay. I'm going to add the alerts. Those tickers that I selected are going to be right here. Technicals already set. Buy the dip plus AI improved. That's the note that I'm going to get to myself. I'm going to get an email or a text or both, and that's going to be my note to myself. And if you want to see how these did, let's do it. So just those, right? Remember, if a sector does well, I'm willing to go inside that sector. Here we go. That's how these have done over the last 3 years. Okay, so that's buy the dip. Now, and you could have done, with buy the dip, I could have also done I pull from the drop-down menu, could have done XLV, because in healthcare, it does even better. And then it would do the same thing. It would have check the best ones, add the alerts. This is the result of doing, let me do another tab in case you guys crushed TradeMachine. I don't trust you guys anymore. Okay. This one will be buying oversold with AI. So load it. It'll load a single ticker. I think Tesla probably. Sure. I'll go over 3 years. And this time, let's just for a change of pace, let's do the healthcare sector. XLV. Okay. Let it do its thing. Again, you can do all of XLV if you're a platinum member. If not, you're going to have to break it up into 2 or 3 back tests. This entire sector will look good. We already know. I showed you what the results were, but we'll just do it together. After this, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little bit of vol trading reminders. Okay. Looks good for the sector. That means I'm willing to cherry pick, sort by average trade, and off I go. It's up to you if you want the ones that are only 1 win and no loss. I look for more, but it's very personal. And I'm okay with 1 win and 1 loss with a 34% return. That's cool with me. I'm not so attached to win rates. I'm attached to returns. Okay, that's probably enough. Add the alerts. Same deal. This was buying oversold, right? So buy oversold plus AI. Add the alert. I'm going to be alerted anytime any of those companies satisfy these technicals. And if we're curious how they look as a group, here we go. So the group I've chosen, 21 wins, 8 losses, average trade 93%. Okay. What is this trade? A diagonal. Oh, did I do the right strategy? I hope I did the right strategy. One of them is supposed to be a 14-day. Okay, it's supposed to be this. Hold on 1 second. New strategies to me too, guys. Sorry. Oh, okay. So this is buy the dip. Pardon me. Buy the dip is a shorter term trade. It's a 30-day, 14-day diagonal. So we're going to cover all of that in the on the Learn tab. If you go here, and we'll describe it later. I don't want to spend too much time on this webinar talking about that. Those are the 3 strategies. That's how you add the alerts. We're going to send you the links for the alerts in case you want to mimic mine or not. Up to you. You know, I don't offer advice. You'll get 100 trades. Now I want to go a step further. Okay, so we've done this. There's new strategies. Let me close some of these tabs. Okay. I want to come to the Today tab for a second. And then I'm going to do some volatility training because we're about to need it. On the Today tab, if you're a platinum member, we are satisfying that need. There's a liquidity filter. So sometimes you'll see a lot of trades on the Today tab. I'll just give an example. Pre-earnings diagonals, this one. There's just a lot of stocks. You're like, well, I mean, like, which one do I do if I even want to do it? And then you go into them and you're like, oh man, I can't trade these options. This sucks. So look how long this list is. I'm going to go to the liquidity filter, which is only for platinum members. And I'm going to say, only give me the ones that are the most liquid, like 5 or better. Now I'm going to come down here. Look how short the list is. Now it's really easy for me to choose which one I would do. There's only one which has the AI triggered. Pretty easy, not a long list, right? And you can choose what I normally actually on my Today tab, I'm at 3+, just so you guys know. So liquidity, meaning 1 is the worst liquidity, 5 is the best liquidity. So 3, 4, or 5. So I would have clicked, this is the pre-earnings diagonal. This was from the prior webinar. I want to show you something about this one. This is actually GoDaddy. First of all, I want to show you something kind of crazy about GoDaddy. Did you guys know that this is what GoDaddy has done over the last year? Because I didn't know until I prepared for this webinar. It was at like 70 and it's doubled. Yep. So this is a pre-earnings momentum trade. So let me first get out some images for you. Just thought I'd point out GoDaddy. It's this pattern I'm looking for, and then I'm going to do some volatility training with you. Okay, first of all, this trade tries to take advantage of this sort of pre-earnings optimism. You tend to find pre-earnings optimism, so a stock rising into earnings, not the earnings itself, just into earnings, This tends to happen as stocks rip, right? As stocks go up, they're generally going up because earnings are better than expected. People start to pile in before earnings. It causes the pre-earnings optimism. It creates a great opportunity for options traders. And then we just get out before earnings and we don't want to play the coin flip. So it's playing this bullishness. But this is a calendar spread. This is a calendar spread. And that means I'm getting long an option that's 14 days to expiration with one delta. It's at the money, right? 50 delta. And I'm getting short something that expires in 7 days that's further out of the money. You're like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? And what is the timing? The timing is this. It's custom earnings. You get in 14 days before earnings. You close everything with the short options. Why would I do that? Okay, we know this part. We know that part. Okay, that's fine. But I could just buy a call and do that. So what is this spread thing? Why am I making it harder? What did I say about effort? It's probably going to be harder than you think it will be. But the good news is that it'll probably, because of that, it'll probably be more satisfying. So what am I doing? This is what I'm doing. First of all, this is generically what an option looks like. Okay? Let's say it's a 7-day option, which is this strategy is getting short. This is how time decay happens. It's not linear. There's very little time decay at the beginning, and then it totally implodes. And here's what I mean by that. Right? Look at this. In the first half of this option's existence, it only loses this much time value. This is time value on the y-axis, and this is days to expiration. Right? It loses almost no time value. It's the last half. It's the last 3 days where the time value implodes. So we want to short this. We want to short the bye-bye time value. We want to say bye-bye, wave a bye-bye. We want to short that. But we don't want to just be short that. There has to be something else going on. And there's another vol phenomenon going on. And it's this. Time value is also, the decay of time value is called theta decay. Theta, the Greek letter for T. When options are inside, when earnings are inside an option's expiration, so this is a normal, you guys can see that, how options normally decay. They decay very, very little, and then they collapse when earnings come out, right? That's the vol crush. We've all seen it, right? So if I'm going to be short this, I'm going to be short this, I want to be long this. I want to own this, and I want to sell this. While all at the same time, while I'm benefiting from this. I want the stock to rally into earnings. And in the meantime, I want to receive this money, this vol crush, and I want to own an option which will not do it. That's exactly what this diagonal does. You get long a 14-day option, which has earnings inside of it. You sell the option before earnings. You don't take this vol crush bet. You stop right here. But your short option looks like this. It just goes. And because the strikes are offset, if the stock goes up, you also benefit from that too. So you benefit from volatility moving in your direction, and you benefit from the stock moving in your direction. And while this hasn't done very well in the last 2 years or year, it will. We've just had a very, very strange market where everything has been led by like 3 companies. I think that's about to stop. So that's what this strategy is that I showed in the prior webinar. The last thing I wanted to show you is I came to here from the Today tab. Remember, I just went to here. With Platinum membership, I'm able to pick my liquidity. It made picking this very easy. I just clicked on it. It loaded the strategy for me. Trust me. If you're a Platinum member, you can also just see the options. Like what this happened today. What are the options? Oh, long the Nov 165 calls. Short the October 25th 167.5 calls. You're like, well, I don't know how to do a calendar exactly. Yeah, you do. It's right there. Never take an option trade if you don't understand the amount you're risking or what you're doing. So this isn't meant to erase your effort. This is just meant to make it easier. You now have to think about that. Okay, I own a 165 call and I sell a 167.5 call. I know if that's the same expiration, that's just called a call spread. Okay, I know how to do that. Oh, but they have different expirations. Why are we doing different expirations? Oh yeah, Ophir was talking about this like be long. I call it the theta paradigm. It's fine. He wants to be long the thing that doesn't decay and short the thing that does decay, while also benefiting from pre-earnings optimism. Right? This is a double speculation. And because of double speculation, there's a little bit of a hedge. TradeMachine will tell you what the options are if you're a platinum member. There they are. Blah 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 blah. Those options triggered right now. It's live. Okay, I'm reviewing the strategy because it's important to understand volatility. Believe me when I tell you volatility trading never goes out of style. Option trading is volatility trading, whether you mean it to be or not. Okay. With a platinum membership, you have a liquidity filter. You can quickly hone in on the best ones that are most tradable. When you go to them, even if they're more complex strategies, you can see the actual options to trade. Okay, I've gone over those 100 alerts. That was me doing it in the platform. Now I have some things to tell you. You know what the portfolio is, right? This is now 7 different strategies, right? The prior webinars had 4. I've gone away from those now and bought a little more vol. I don't think that you just want these 100 alerts. These 100 alerts are long, a lot of vol, and I don't like that. I want to sell some vol too. So, you want the other 140? Little mix and match. You will get all of my alerts coming in an email. You can build them yourself. You can go through the drop down menu, check, check, check. I want that, boom, boom, boom. Or you can just use the Today tab. These 3 strategies, will only be available to Platinum for a month. The ETF one will only be available to Platinum forever, but I have a solution to that. First, let's go back before I start talking about strategies. You've seen a lot, right? So hopefully you've learned at least a little. Maybe you learned a little about vol trading. Maybe you learned a little bit about, a process or a plan, whatever, process, patience, and effort. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I have the right tools. Maybe I'm getting in my own way. Maybe I'm not patient enough. I understand the difference between kind of, oh, I dally in options a little bit. No. You either trade options or you don't. You don't have to do it for a living. You can have a job and actually pay your bills and maybe not do a lot of options trades, but it's not for fun. I remember the agenda. I said, look, if you've not had success, there's a chance that it just mistakes here. This thing, right? The new buy the dip that's improved, the improved model, and the oversold strategies will be available to everyone in 30 days. Platinum, they're available now. Well, tomorrow. It says tomorrow. You actually have them now. Surprise. The sector ETF strategy will only be available to Platinum members on the Today tab. But now I am talking to my current TradeMachine monthly members. Hello, TradeMachine monthly members. Hello, how are you? If you are a current monthly member, you can email support and get the Platinum upgrade for a week at no additional cost with no commitment. And I just want to be clear, what I mean is that you literally email support, say, hello, Ophir said that if I email support, I can get Platinum for a week. You will get the upgrade. We will not charge your credit card. Just so you know, no one for any service you ever buy, finance or otherwise, should ever be charging your credit card unless you're giving them, unless you're doing it yourself. That might even be illegal. In 1 week, your Platinum upgrade will just go away. And then if you're like, oh man, Platinum went away, then you email support again and say, okay, now I want to upgrade. And then if you want to upgrade, then you'll commit to a year and then you'll have to fill out your credit card. This does not require your credit card. This is literally an email to support. You will magically have Platinum. It will go away in a week. You don't have to cancel it if you don't want it. There's no dollars. There's no commitment. Why am I not just giving it to everyone? Because Platinum is much more impactful on our infrastructure. And if I just gave it to thousands of people and all of a sudden you guys were crushing TradeMachine and none of the people who did it didn't even realize what was going on, then I've done nothing. I said that trading requires a process, and patience, and effort. Yes, it will take the effort to email support and say, hey, I want to try Platinum. No commitment, no cost. will not automatically renew, will not automatically charge your credit card. You don't have to do anything but email support. And if that's too much effort, then you're not going to get platinum. It's okay. I have to, if I'm preaching it, I have to have it embedded in the way we run the product. Okay. Now, that's for current TradeMachine members. Guys, you got to let me talk to non-members for a second. I'll be right back. Now I'm talking to non-members. Okay. I want to make it as easy as possible for non-members to experience TradeMachine Platinum. I cannot give it to you for free. Sorry. That's for TradeMachine members. Sorry. What I can do is this. First, let me tell you what Platinum is. You're going to get these new strategies. You'll get that live options pricing. Remember I showed you that thing where you click the button and it shows you the actual options, strike and expiration for active now trades, right? Get access to the liquidity features on the Today tab, right? That's all only with Platinum. You'll get 7x faster speeds, and you have the ability to backtest really large buckets of stocks, actually up to 200 tickers at a time. Okay. Now, you can try TradeMachine Platinum and all of its features for $1 for 7 days. Then it will roll to $9.95 a year after. You can cancel it at any time. And if you're a day late, don't worry about it. If you see a charge of $9.95 on your credit card and you're like, ah, shit, I meant to cancel. It's fine. Just email us. We're not trying to trick you. It's fine. Just try to be mindful, please. Don't take up our support time sending refunds. You can go here. Okay. This offer is shutting down tomorrow at 11:59. So midnight tomorrow. Or just before, 1 minute before midnight tomorrow. For everyone. That includes monthly TradeMachine members who want to try Platinum for free with no credit card commitment, nothing. This is all people. It's ending. Can't do this a lot. It does impact our infrastructure. The reason Platinum gets so much more is because you're committing to a year and we can commit to our infrastructure. Current members, you just email support. There's no commitment whatsoever. You get it for a week, it's going to disappear. And when it disappears, if you want it, you say, oh, I actually wanted that. Okay, well, then we'll show you how to sign up for it. Non-members, you want this page. It's going to look like this. You're going to go there. Don't choose $9.95. Choose $1. And then $9.95 after that, right? $1. Okay, since I have your attention, TradeMachine members, non-TradeMachine members, all, platinum, non-platinum, I want to give you a 30-second demo of our product pattern. Okay, so I'm going to do that 1 second. Since I have you. We do have a charting package called Pattern Finder. I was looking at ASML, obviously. Who wasn't? I'm not going to do a whole demo. You can see that we have our own algorithms running, which show support and resistance, congestion. It's got probably I think the best financial fundamental data there is. Nobody uses it for that. I just have to show you. I can't help myself. So I think we have the most powerful fundamental data out there, but it's okay. Nobody cares. I'm just letting you know it's there, and a great screener. But what I really wanted to show you was our AI on top of it. First, I'm going to show you what we have, and then I'm going to show you what's coming. If you just click the AI button, it's going to go through our algorithms, and it's going to look at the chart, and it's going to start creating a bullish and bearish rating, and it's going to start creating a trading plan. You can see it moving, right? It's going to look at the up volume to down volume over the last 30 days of 50 days, price movement over the last 4 days, 4 weeks, RSI. Obviously, this stock's getting smushed, so it's 20 out of 100. How would you trade this? Like this. Right? This is all AI driven. The great thing is it's going to look at the length of chart that you're looking at. So if you go, for example, to a 5-day chart, go to minute bars, it will also give you a day trading plan. Now, if you do that now, it'll be okay. It's not great right now. Pattern Finder members know. What's coming out very soon is we're adding our proprietary, our congestion lines, all of our algorithms to intraday. Why does this matter to TradeMachine members? First of all, because this might help you, but also because once we have all of our patterns in intraday, in 1 minute bars, right? once we teach our AI how to look at intraday versus like 3 or 18 months, that is, we give it the information it needs because it's different information, right? Nobody cares if a stock is up in the last year when you're looking at a 1-day chart, the minute chart. This will be the gateway to zero DTE and TradeMachine. It's the start. Okay, this is what Pattern Finder offers. It also has a crazy strong screener. I'm not going to demo it right now. I just want you to guys know it's here. If you're looking for like bullish charts right now, charts that are breaking out right now, stocks that are going right through congestion or going right through support, you can do it. I just don't want to do a long demo. It's a TradeMachine thing. So why did I bring that up? I did that because of this. While you're on the page paying $1 for annual for platinum, you can also get Pattern Finder for 50 cents for 7 days. Basically, we're just saying you can try it. And it's only $28 a day after. Sorry, $28 a month after. So for 50 cents, you get a 7-day trial of Pattern Finder too. All the same page. So it's secure.trademachine.com/web. Okay. And that is it. That was my pitch to non-members. That was my pitch to current members. You guys should be using Platinum at the very least. Try it for free without any commitment. If you don't like it, you don't have to tell us. It just goes away. You'll be like, oh, I used to have a liquidity filter and see live options, and now I don't. That's all. We're not charging you more. There's nothing. If you're a current member, this is honestly, I can't understand if you don't do it. But if you don't, you don't. If you're a non-member, give TradeMachine a shot. Now, I'm going to leave this little obnoxious yellow thing with the red link there for signups, but I will take questions. And I did it in 75 minutes. I thought I was going to do it in 70 minutes, but that's pretty good, guys. Come on. 3 strategies, 100 alerts, and a pitch. Not so bad. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Not too terrible, Ophir.
Yeah. I feel good about it.
There is one thing that you normally do that you missed, and that's where I'm going to start. We do have a question. Who is the presenter and what does he do with TM? So you didn't introduce yourself.
Oh, that's how you get my least favorite subject. My name is Ophir Gottlieb. Hello, I'm going to turn on my camera. You see I'm a real person. I was holding my think. I'll show you what I was holding. Hold on. You guys back? Really? This guy? Okay. Turn on video. Yeah, and I'll stop sharing for a second. Yeah. So I was actually holding this up. Yeah. My name is Ophir Gottlieb. I am the CEO of Capital Market Laboratories. We just had our 10-year birthday. I'm a former education, quantitative economic decision systems, an MBA in finance, and then graduate work at Stanford in financial mathematics, measure theory, stochastic processes, and machine learning. I'm a former option market maker on NYC ARCA and SIBO, former hedge fund manager. You can look it up. Former managing director of quantitative research for an institution, which was bought by Morgan Stanley. They bought my model. Models that I've built, machine learning models, or AI, over $1 trillion in assets under management with a T, 1 trillion. Now the CEO of Capital Market Laboratories, and I use TradeMachine to trade. And I have this in front of my desk because when you're trading, you need to always think. Okay, that was my very fast elevator pitch of myself. Let's not do that again. Okay. Let me go back. I have to, for the people who are not TradeMachine members, I have to encourage you to buy stuff. So I have to show you, at least pitch you the URL. You guys got to allow me to do that. So share. I'll keep my camera up, but I have to do it. You guys have to allow me to do this. Okay, go ahead, Mandy. Notice the yellow and the red.
You do like colors today, don't you?
Yeah.
Love TradeMachine so far. Made profits for the first time in a long time. Love spreads, and you taught me how to trade them. Naked calls or puts suck. Thanks for teaching me this. That's not really a question.
But it's the best comment ever. Good. Someone
right?
took value. I appreciate that they love TradeMachine. Totally, 100%. You know, everyone listening, TradeMachine's awesome. That's great. But what I really appreciate is they took something away that for the rest of their life they will know. with or without trade. That's awesome.
It's a great way to jump in, actually. Some of the option selections are not tradable. The bid-ask spread is too wide with very low volume,
Yep.
etc. How do you eliminate such low volume options? I think you
I
already
go
answered
to
that.
I upgrade. I email support. I get platinum upgrade for no risk, and then I use the liquidity filter on the Today tab, and I use 3+. So we have our liquidity filter that Jason built from 1 to 5. 1 is the low, like the worst. 5 is the best liquidity. Okay, liquidity is the width of the NBBO. Well, it's the width. Yes, it's the width of the NBBO and the depth. So it's a 3 or better. You should find fairly liquid options. If you're using a 3 and you're not getting, okay, try a 4. That's how I do it, and that's why it's so important. It just saves time, man. Remember, I said it takes effort. It just takes some of the effort out. Like,
Perfect. So we should continue using all the strategies from October 2023 and March of 2024. I'm really surprised that he got that actually that close. It was November of 2023. Good job. Um, and
yeah.
add the new strategies from tonight.
So I would say this: if you're crushing it, if you're like, yeah, I'm doing great. Uh, I don't think it's good. Guys have to be the reason I have to hem and haws. I'm not allowed to give advice, so I have to. I hope you guys understand that I'm not. I can communicate better than this, but I'm not. I can't just tell you what you should do because that's could be construed as advice by the wrong person, even though it's not. So what I would do if something's working for me, I would keep doing that, but I'm generally open to other ideas, especially if they diversify my portfolio more. And in this case, I mean a little less selling of all, so it's a little bit more buying of all, just a little. I'd rather sell vol than buy vol. So I would feather some of those in. That's what I would do personally. And if they're working, more than feather them in, you know. Um, but don't I don't think a large overhaul of trading is generally the right way to go, right? It's a step function. Now, if you are someone who is only buying a single option or selling a single option, then yeah, I think you need a complete overhaul. Don't do that. That's not advice. That's my opinion. I wouldn't do that. So
I totally don't understand fade the dip even after the definition in CML. Um, can you show Learn tab so that we can kind
yeah,
of
for sure.
point them
Yeah.
to some additional resources? And while you're in there, you can show where they can find the new strategy details.
Yes. So go to the Learn tab. I almost did the other thing, the trick in the corner, but that's not allowed. So fade the dip. And that wasn't me. That was the magic of the thing. It tells you what the technical conditions are. So this is very similar to buy the dip. It's actually the same. It's where a stock it's not overbought, clearly. It's above its 10-day moving average, and it's the day that it crosses up through the 200-day moving average. So it was in technical failure, and it has come out of technical failure. We also have fade the dip with our AI put on top of it, and I would do that. And then all you do, all the trade does, all it measures is a short put spread. That's it. That's it. Then there's fade the dip with our AI, which I think is better. How about this? In the past, it has been significantly better. So I would do fade the dip plus AI, and you can go here to watch a video on it, or just read about it here. And the Learn tab has everything. So if you want to ask Eddie AI anything, then you just type it in here. If you got a question, it'll answer it.
If you actually, so the search bar now functions as a regular search bar. If you click where it says Ask Eddie AI, it's going to search and then summarize the actual content.
There you go.
So doing it there is going to give you a quicker answer, but if you want the more detailed, just use the regular search function.
There you go. Okay. And the
Uh,
strategy itself is just a short put spread. It's nothing.
and right where Ophir was in the strategy section is where you're going to find the details on the new strategies as well. If you just scroll down to the bottom, those are
There you
all
go.
available already. So you can go in and dive in as soon as we're
Look,
done here.
look at Mandy getting it going. Yep. There you go, guys.
Right. How long are skew and kurtosis calculated in TradeMachine? If I'm back testing these indicators from 2007, does that work?
Jay, how long do we have?
I believe the answer is
Yeah,
forever, but
they're mostly backfilled for all symbols for
Yeah.
till 2007.
Okay. That is our CTO and the creator of TradeMachine. So there's your answer. Back to 2007.
so yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the if you want caveats and nuance, then there's some tickers that kind of go in and out, fade in and out of existence. So some of those are the more challenging ones, but by and large, they should be backfilled.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason. Right. Wait, if you're not publishing the AI functionality, does that mean that CML Pro members don't have access to it? We only will get the preset alerts.
CML Pro members? No, you have to be a TradeMachine member in order to get our AI. Yeah. Now CML Pro, which is another one of our products, I can talk about if you want, has an earnings bot. So it reads earnings transcripts and then summarizes them for you. But that's different than this. This roughly speaking, skew and kurtosis is only available in TradeMachine. It's actually also available in Pattern Finder for people who are not Pattern Finder members. If you want the least expensive way to get skew and kurtosis, it actually would be Pattern Finder. You don't have option back testing, so that could be a bit of a problem, but skew and kurtosis is inside Pattern Finder.
Perfect. Thank you. Does this only work for options trading?
So no, so TradeMachine, you can also backtest stock if you like. I was doing options trades, but you can do stock as well. Stock meaning individual names, ETFs, indices. So you can look at like, what would have happened if I bought the S&P 500 every time, there's this thing where it crosses below the 200-day moving average. Like what if I just bought stock and did that? You can also in TradeMachine, you can also test dollar cost averaging strategies. So let's say you really want to own Microsoft, but I don't know, do I put all? Let's say I just make up a number. Let's say you want to put $1,000 in Microsoft. Do I put it all in at once or whatever? So you can look at what you did. What if you put, 200 bucks 5 different times around earnings, whatever. You can also TradeMachine is also a DCA back tester as well. So there's a lot you can back test. So stock and options.
What are the two close conditions for the new strategies?
Let's see. I think the close is when the options expire or if you have an 80% gain. So that's the ETF one. By the dip.
And it is when front of month options. So you close all legs together.
Yes. Yeah, they're all the same expiration. And then by the dip is this is gonna be when the front so it's 30-day options and 14-day options. It's when the 14-day options expire. There's no gain or limit. Yep, no stop. And buy oversold is gonna be either after 30 days. That's it. Yep, at expiration, right? Normal time. Yep.
Yep.
So those are the closing strategy. Those are the closing rules.
Again, find it on the Learn tab.
Learn tab.
Can you tell I have a little bit of favoring towards the Learn tab?
Well, it's your baby. It's allowed.
It is my baby. I know you used AI to help discover your proprietary skew and kurtosis findings. Is this why you call these AI strategies, or is there more AI being used in your AI tools that I'm aware of? If so, are these AI tools somehow continuing to learn from the past?
There is more to it than you think. They are not, however, it is not learning from itself. No, that's a good question. Nope. So in a certain sense, the back test you do today will not change when you try in a year, right? Because if it was learning, then it would be a moving target, which has positives and negatives. But one of the negatives are a back test isn't really a back test. Like that's the science and art of back testing. It's only a valuable back test if it's consistent and you can revisit it. And so if it was learning, then you're like, yeah, but that's not what you said. Like, let's put it this way. I could have shown you the results from the webinar and you guys have been like, yeah, but the thing's moving around. Like it learned to do better. It's not really what we would have done if we would have done these trades. So that decision has to be made. It's locked in time.
On the website, where to find option trade alert details like strike price and expiry date.
Yes. So in TradeMachine. So if you're just looking at anything, let's do this again, GoDaddy. So if it's active, of course, you can look at the actual trade. If you're platinum, it'll tell you. But let's say you're not platinum and you're like, yeah, but okay, so you know what's going on. So if it's a custom strategy, which this is, you click edit and you're like, oh, okay, you're getting long a 14-day option with a 50 delta, and you're getting short a 7-day option with a 30 delta, and you're closing everything with the short of the front month option. If it's something simpler, like just getting long a call, let's say we'll do the Robinhood trade. Oh, sorry. I did a diagonal special. Hold on. Let's go just a straight long call. No, 7-day. Okay. Coca-Cola. Okay. Coca-Cola triggered today, just straight down the middle long call. It's a trade which it measures how it's done if you got long 7 days before earnings and then closed 1 day before earnings. Okay. 5 wins, 3 losses, 161%. What are the options? Okay, well, if you have platinum, you do this. But if you don't have platinum, you can see right here, buy 40 delta calls. And the 40 delta, so if you don't know what delta is, go to the Learn tab, ask what delta is. If you want to see the options, click on the backtest tile, go to the options chain, look for the options that are the closest to 7 days to expiration, but also include earnings. That would be here. You look for the calls on the left, delta, the one that's closest to 40 delta, that would be this option. It would be buying this 84-cent option. That's how you find it. That's it. Obviously, this is easier. Just click the button.
Absolutely easier. I'm a little confused about what the AI is. You have added filters for skew and kurtosis. How is that AI rather than a new scan or filter?
It is a scan, or it is a filter, pardon me. It's a filter based on AI. So I can't tell you exactly what the skew and kurtosis is. I'm just going to hand you the algorithm because then it's not proprietary to TradeMachine anymore. But that's what it is. So not all AI is constantly learning. AI, roughly speaking, is machine learning, which has at least one hidden layer. I mean, roughly speaking. And most algorithms before generative AI came around were very closed form. So you take like a convolutional neural network, using maybe standard sigmoidal activation function. We don't use that anymore, but it's fine. When it goes in and you do all the hidden layers and you have the neural network, blah, 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 like it's doing a lot of learning. But when it's all said and done, when the model is finished and you've done your cross-validation and you've done your outer universe and blah, 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 you've decided I have a worthy model that I want to print. It's actually, you can just write it down. It's a very long equation. It's basically a weighting system, a very long weighting system. Weighting, W-E-I-G-H-T, not W-A-I-T, like a weighting system. It's not, so every AI other than those that are unsupervised it's just a function. It's just an equation. It can be a long equation, but it's just arithmetic. It's not even mathematics. It's arithmetic. It's this plus this plus this times this plus this plus that's it. So that's what AI is. Now, if it's unsupervised learning, actually, even that is closed form. So yeah, I take it back. It's all closed form. It's just that if it's getting fed, if it continues to propagate, gets fed back, then it might change. But at any one moment, it's all just closed form. It's really all just, it's back to like 3rd grade arithmetic. It's addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. That's it. That's all it is. As funky as it sounds, that's all it is.
Have you considered including AV-WAP to the strategies? Your results are amazing as it is. For example, I've used VWAP and AV-WAP to choose my entry point on Fade the Dip. You said in one of your videos, not bearish, so I simply use the VWAP to find pullback and then enter the spread. It has worked very nicely.
Yeah, do we not have VWAP? Oh yeah, we have
It's
AV
very
WAP.
top.
Yeah, yeah. So you can add that technical to any strategy we have and just save it, and then that make it your strategy, right? So I haven't, but if you're using it for success, share it in community and let everyone know.
One
Yeah,
of the best parts of community actually
yeah,
is
yeah. If
being
you
able to
put it,
get new ideas that even some of the strategies that Ophir has covered in the past have originated from community.
yeah. So here, you just go in here and Max. So chat Uncle Pops with the green check is also known as Max, former sugar options market maker, so commodity options market maker. He kind of runs. He's a kind of go-to in community, and so people build off of what he says. And we have a lot. It's not just Max. There's a lot of really really good traders in TradeMachine. I don't talk a lot in the TradeMachine community because I don't want to. I don't want to like carry a big stick and then mess up the juju. So that's why I don't say that much in there. When I do trades, I tend to announce them now and again, but we have some really great traders here, for example, someone who's using Pattern Finder. So yeah, I would definitely. It's one of the best trading communities I've ever seen in my life, and I'm blown away by it. I actually was just telling Amanda and Jason, Alex, too, really. Like I say daily almost. I'm like TradeMachine's on fire right now. So I would definitely go into community.
What does the best within a sector mean?
Oh yes, this is what the best in a sector is. When I went and I did, when I went to, let's say, buying oversold, I'll look over 3 years. I'll do the whole sector. NASDAQ 100. Well, let's just do a sector. I'll do XLV. I'll do healthcare. I have platinum, so I'm able to do all of the constituents of the ETF all at once. So let's let it happen. So blah, blah, blah. It'll happen. Once this is all done, you'll see the average trade return per stock. I sort it by average trade return, and I pick the ones that have performed the best. But I only do that if and only if the sector first overall works, right? I have to see something that's compelling. This is compelling. Then I would sort, I do. That's what I did for the alerts. I sort by average trade return, and I choose the ones that have done the best. Okay, X-ray, this has happened twice, 418% return. HOLX, this has happened 5 times, 3 wins, 2 losses, 189 average trade. BMY, well, these are all single trades, so it's up to you. I tend to look for more than a single trade in a backtest. Biogen, it's happened 5 times, 0 losses, average trade 66.5. So that's what I mean. I go one by one, and I cherry pick the best in the sector. And then I click add alert. And now I've got them, just add alerts. That's what I mean. But I will only do that if and only if the sector looks good first. I will not cherry pick if the sector doesn't look good first. I don't want to do that.
Have you considered adding separate lists to the alerts? Right now it's one big list. It would be cool if you could label a list, say, for all stocks in a particular strategy.
I
It's not a,
think I think you can sort by alert type. Oh no, yeah, I see what
yeah. I,
you can sort by notes, I guess. So okay, here's a trick. You can put I put 1 by 3 by 2. I'm showing you all my alerts here, which is embarrassing. But 1 by 3 by 2 in front of my 1 by 3 by 2s, so I know that when I sort the notes, I'll find those first. So that's one way to do it. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things we could build out in TradeMachine. I think like a more robust way to label your alerts is one of them, but we have, we're working on bigger things. So it's a fair question. It's a good idea. It's just something that's not on the list right now.
yeah.
And
Email,
one little cheat is to do this with your notes.
yeah. Email support. We can add it to the list and one day it may come up again.
Yeah.
I've been with CML for several years now. How do I know if I'm a platinum member?
Well, I guess the easiest way is to go, if it should say platinum in the corner.
Exactly. Or if you have the liquidity filter on the today tab is an
Yes,
easy way.
you could also just look by feature. If you see this, you're a platinum member.
Mhm. And if you don't see that and you want to be a platinum member, or if you're told you what to do,
Yeah, just email. We can get it for free for a week, and literally for free. You don't have to cancel. You can just try it.
Mhm.
It's not a trick. There's no tricks.
Futures question mark.
Not yet. Yeah, I know. We get people who trade futures who want it, but I mean, it's an expensive data set, and we just haven't seen the demand yet. It's not that people don't want it. Don't get me wrong. It's just that not enough people want it relative to other things we could do. Which features? Whoever asked that question, come back in the QA. I'm just curious which features you want, like index futures, or like what do you want? Or you want futures options? So you're come back in the queue and tell us what you mean. I'm just curious. Go ahead.
Is there a discounted price for upgrading to platinum?
This actually is a discount. The discounted price. Yeah,
Yeah, I
9.95.
think it's $14.95
Yeah,
normally
let's
right now.
yeah, let me see. Let me go into incognito and go to trademachine.com. Blah 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 40. Yeah, it's normally 14.95. So yeah, yes, you're getting a chunky discount.
What's the cost difference between platinum and pro?
Pro is regular Trade Machine. Trade Machine Pro is your monthly, whatever that is. Because we have people who signed up really, really early. And well, I'll go buy this.
We don't raise any prices. So once you're locked into a rate, you're locked into it for
Yes,
as
yes,
long
yeah,
as your subscription is alive. So
yeah. I'm not trying to be coy. We literally have people who are paying very. Okay, so I'll just go to trademachine.com. 149 a month on trademachine.com, and we're offering platinum for 9.95. So, it's 9.95 is more than 149, but like the savings is pretty profound.
if you would like us to look at your specific account and give you numbers for your specific situation, email support and we will take care of that for you.
Yeah, that too.
All
So
right.
don't nobody use this. I don't want you guys paying this much money for what we're offering something special. Don't use trademachine.com. You please use this if you're new. Just please take the discount. Don't pay us too much. Like it's like I'm like offended. Take the discount.
He really does get offended if you don't take the discount.
Yeah.
We've had that conversation. So take the discount. And if
Yeah.
you forget this link, I put it into the chat section. And so you can just copy and paste it. And of course, you can email support. You probably will not get an answer tonight, but you will definitely get an answer tomorrow morning, and it will be well before the time runs
deadline.
out.
Yeah, so
So
secure.trademachine.com web. Yeah, it'll look like this. It's going to let you know when the offer's ending. Just that your page should be looking like this. Otherwise, you're paying too much. Now, if you wait 3 days, you won't get this. But for now, if you're listening to me right now, then do this. Don't pay too much. Okay.
exactly. That time decay chart assumes the market is not moving. In theory, that's all true, but if the market is moving around you, you won't get that decay curve like pictured.
No, you will get that decay curve picture. Your options might not move like that because options also have delta and other things, but your decay will move like that. Yeah. I mean, theta decay can change a little bit in a short period of time. It's unusual. Theta decay has different characteristics if vega changes. So if there's an extreme change in implied volatility in a particular name, the theta decay can change a little. But no, that's how theta decay is going to look over a week. That's not how the option price will look. That's how the theta decay will look. Two different things. The time of value will go down exponentially. The time of value, not the value, the time value.
Please show what we do within TradeMachine when we receive a trade alert.
Yeah, sure. So I have, you know, many alerts. So actually, I probably got alerts today. I'll just pull one up and I'm gonna do my email on the other side so you guys don't be like, oh, that's what you got in your email. That's crazy. Hold on. Let me see my alert. That was my impression of someone random. Okay, alert. Okay, so I got a nope, that's not what I wanted. What did I just do? I did something. Oh. Yes. So I just got, I'm gonna take a picture of it. I actually got an alert on ASML because you know, it shit the bed. So here. Hold on. Okay. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not sharing my screen.
You are sharing your
That's
screen.
what I said. Told you. See? So this is the alert I got. It told me the conditions that were met, and then it included the link. And this is from I added spread the sell off from within the NASDAQ 100. And so I went here, and that link is here. I see what you did with the links, Jay. That's very clever. That final parameter. He's good, guys. Best computer scientist in financial technology.
He's got some really, really nice touches there.
Yeah. So then it was ASML, so I'll just put in ASML. Here it is. So this is what I got. Oh, and then what did I do? Well, when it was active, it showed me the, you know, the options to trade. It's a 1x3x2. I did not do this, by the way. I had a feeling they were going to freak out again today, so I didn't do it. I didn't think the freak out was over. So that, yeah, so that the question is that I would just put it in TradeMachine. What is the trade? Okay, then I would click on it, and if I want to do it, it should be active, and I would click it, and it would tell me the options I would want to trade, and I would go trade it. That's the answer.
Perfect.
I did not do it for this one. I just want to be clear. I did not get it.
And I know Max shares a lot of these in community of what to do once you get an alert. So if you have any questions about that, definitely pop over to community. And when we say pop into community, you don't have to do anything. Just pop in and look around.
Yeah.
Most of our users are just there to look around. So we do not
Max,
frown upon that.
I don't know what I'm doing. Help. Yeah. And then Max will help. And he might give you like I think he's a stoic. Give you life advice. Okay. I do.
And if you use @ and then chat Uncle Pops, it will tag him and he'll get a notification. So you can
Okay.
make it way more than just the one that Ophir has right now. The other day, Ophir had 99 notifications, and I'm pretty sure that was just because he maxed it out.
Yeah. I took me like 2.5 hours to get to all the notifications. You guys crushed me the other day. CML Pro, I don't know what was wrong with you guys. You guys you're like, everyone had an idea. I was like, oh, God, I'm drowning. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay.
Can you post a link on how to upgrade my account to platinum? It is in the Learn tab on how to upgrade your account to platinum. If you are at a discounted rate because you've been with us for a bazillion years, email support because we'll have to do it right now. I'm working on a process to make that easier for you guys too, but
Yeah. For now, just
definitely,
email support.
yeah,
Here,
email
hold on.
support.
I had a slide on that. No, hold on. There's a slide. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah,
You
blah.
just passed it.
I
Go
did?
back. Yeah, it said support. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Current.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So rule of thumb, when going to save backtest, choose AI, correct? Better returns?
I would, like it's proven through time. They're just better. Like on any specific one, you might be like, oh, it's better without it. Yeah, but it's not about one stock. So I would say yes. I don't really take triggers from TradeMachine unless they have skewing kurtosis settings on them. Once in a while I do, but it's the exception to the rule. Also, I've been trading for 2 decades, so I don't know how long you've been trading, but like sometimes I just, the older you get as a trader, the stupider you get, sort of. So you just do things because you think you're right. Just being honest.
Is there an area within TradeMachine that offers step-by-step to set up these signals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
Learn tab.
Yeah, these webinars and the Learn tab. So, whatever you want. There are webinars like getting started.
If you go to how do I find trades over on the side, there is, which is also where this is going to go. The building your alerts portfolio is going to be where this is going to fall into. That pulled up the transcripts. That was weird. But scroll up, Ophir.
Scroll up. Scroll.
On the side. Sorry.
Which here? Getting started? No.
Nope. Keep going up. Scroll.
Scroll. Getting started here?
Down one. How do I find trades?
How do I find trades?
Building your alerts portfolio. So this is going to fall right into there, and it's going to be all three of the alerts related in one spot for you. And that would be a great place to start.
Mr. Gottlieb. Sorry, go ahead.
We try to be professional, Ophir.
Yes.
What do you want from me?
It's good. Yeah, do what you did. Do this.
So this is a really great place to start because in the earlier ones, Ophir really dives into setting up alerts and that process in a very slow and methodical way.
Yes.
And
This
then,
webinar is better. The first one is better. This one was the one I did today was about new strategies. The first one is what Mandy just said. It's much more methodical.
yes. Well, as we've gone along, it's just we assume that you've watched the other ones, and we know that we have newer users that may not have stumbled upon this yet. So go here. This is important.
Yeah.
All right. What do you mean it's only available to Platinum for a month? Is it going away to even Platinum members?
Oh, no. Sorry. Okay.
It sounded that way to me too, actually.
Okay. So all three strategies are in Platinum right now, and they will be forever. 2 of them are coming to monthly members in a month. So everyone will have them. The ETF sector one is only in Platinum. They're definitely never going away from Platinum. And monthly members, you will get those other 2 strategies on the Today tab soon, just in 30 days.
Yeah. The next 2 questions are the same, and also we've already covered them. What is the cost and how do you upgrade? Right now, best way, if you're an active user, email support. Is there a way to incorporate candle type as triggering condition into TradeMachine?
Not yet, no. We have a bunch of technical things that people are requesting. When we're ready to add technicals, because we have a huge library, we'll kind of make it official, and we'll let as anyone who's been a member knows, it's kind of a voting machine. We send out a survey and members decide, but we're not there yet. The thing that's coming next after, I mean, we just added 3 new strategies, which is pretty awesome, but is the intraday stuff. That's Pattern Finder is where the magic's going to happen for a while. We just put a little magic in TradeMachine. Pattern Finder is going to have magic coming pretty soon, and then we will likely turn to TradeMachine magic again. I'm telling you, it's happening in Pattern Finder. That's all I'm going to tell you. The next few weeks, it's going to be popping.
We just answered this question about Platinum users only having it for a month. When comparing non-TradeMachine and TradeMachine trades, there's always a lot more non-TradeMachine trades. Is that because AI realizes that there aren't as many good trades and thus more AI trades can be placed?
Don't understand the question exactly. I'm going to try
I can
to
jump in on this one if you want. This is Jason Hitchings.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jason, because I was in Ophir's boat there.
Yeah, so in the Today tab, there's a whole area of stock only trades at the very bottom that don't use options. Yeah, that's just because of the filters that we put on the trades. For an options trade to get through, it has to meet a lot of different criteria. There's also a lot more stocks that are tradable than that are optionable, and especially that are optionable and liquid. So there's just fewer out there, but also, the returns on the option trades are, phenomenal. So yeah, if you're looking to place 15 trades a day, then you'll probably need to, dip into the stock trades. If you're looking for 4 or 5 or 6, great option trades, then you can be pretty satisfied there. In my experience, I use the Today tab all the time. I've had really excellent record in the last 12 months, and I hope for anyone else who has been that they're having the same experience.
Yeah, we're getting emails in now from people who have been using it for the last year or whatever, and we're seeing big numbers. People are happy. That's part of the reason I wanted to do this, is I wanted to make sure that the people who weren't happy, like, come on, we got to do this together. We got to get better.
Like we've said for the last year, we're working towards building that alerts portfolio. So
Yes. Yes.
it's piece by piece. It doesn't happen overnight.
Although what you have now is pretty fat. So like you can just take those links and you'd have a robust portfolio of 400 alerts.
Exactly. Why doesn't Pattern Finder AI work on SPY?
Well, our AI requires some data from the S&P 500, and therefore it cannot learn on top of itself. It's kind of the shifty answer.
What's the email address to request a trial of Platinum? I think you should just leave that up, Ophir.
This. Oh, that was.
And then the next one is how much is the charting option add-on for a Platinum subscriber? You can
Super cheap.
actually get for Platinum subscribers, we offer a discount on Pattern Finder annual email support, and I can give you the exact number. I believe it's under $200 for Platinum subscribers to get an annual Pattern Finder. So it's ridiculously cheap, like less than $20 a month.
Yeah.
Right. I'm brand new. Is there functionality that helps you with buying just a simple call or put?
There is, but I don't think it's a good idea. Having said that, we do have strategies on the Today tab. If it says beginner somewhere, like buy the dip, is just that straight down the middle buying a call. Bullish burst, straight down the middle buying a call. Bearish burst too. Set for 7-day pre-earnings, so that earnings momentum I was talking about. Also 14 days, those are just straight down the middle calls. I don't think that's a good idea, but yes. Absolutely. So actually the Coke example I gave today was a straight down the middle call. Just straight down the middle buying. Okay.
There you go. Is Pattern Finder already available to premium members? Yes, it is. Email support will get you what you need. If I pay $9.95 a year now, can I just get Platinum? Absolutely. We're not going to argue with that.
Yes, if you're just like
I-
done, I'm in. Yeah, of course. You don't have to wait a week. It's fine. Yes.
Ophir, are you going to argue with them?
No arguments. Go ahead. I think it's the right move.
And we'll also refund your current month or prorate the month if you're halfway through a monthly.
Yep,
Yes.
we prorate based on where you are in your subscription. So when you email support, we'll take it from there.
Mhm.
Will crypto be available in Pattern Finder?
Ooh, we're considering crypto. I wouldn't say it's soon, but it's definitely on the list. Yeah. It falls under the bucket of other assets. It
Can you
actually
combine?
wouldn't, it actually wouldn't be that hard. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just moving on.
Yeah.
Can you combine Pattern Finder with TradeMachine so triggered Trade Finder stocks also triggered in Pattern Finder for timing?
Not yet. I have this fantasy. I'm just gonna share my fantasy. That you Pattern Finder becomes a tab inside TradeMachine. I said it's a fantasy. It's not happening. But there are a lot of people in community who use both. I definitely use both. A part of the reason I didn't take ASML, part of the reason I thought it was going to continue shitting the bed, so I have to go back a day because obviously hindsight is like, oh, you're a fucking genius. So I saw this candle. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This is Pattern Finder. The reason I'm saying this is I showed you guys an alert from ASML that was spread the sell-off. So hypothetically, it triggered yesterday here. Okay. I saw this candle. So pretend this candle isn't here because obviously if you see this candle, don't do it. I looked at Pattern Finder and I looked at these levels and I was like, I think it's going lower. And specifically like down here. So I did. So that's how I use it. And I know there's a lot more creative ways people use Pattern Finder and TradeMachine. They aren't totally talking to each other right now, which I think was the question. So that's not yet. But yeah, a lot of people use them both together. I do. I think ASML could even go lower. It was bad news. Not bad news for the market, it's bad news for ASML.
While you're on Pattern Finder, I'm going to jump down real quick. Are there instructions for Pattern Finder?
I think so. Yeah, there's a learn tab or something.
Oh, fear. Help. Right there.
Where is it? Oh yeah, help. See? God, duh. The same thing. Everybody know. I mean, duh. Yeah, so there's help here. Yep. How do I use Pattern Finder? How do I build a stock screen? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, and yes. The
And
screener. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the Pattern Finder help section has not gotten the love that TradeMachine has recently. So this is a work in progress. You're getting more content, and I'm also hounding Ophir for a new webinar on Pattern Finder exclusively. So be on the lookout for that because I'm going to make him do it one of these days.
Yes. The screener, I'm just gonna say it out loud. The screener in Pattern Finder is bananas. Okay. I feel like the screener in Pattern Finder should be $1,000 a month. It's not going to be because that's not how the world doesn't just bend to my will. But I think this screener is worth $1,000. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
It's absolutely insane. I'll throw that in there.
Completely insane. Yeah.
Right. I noticed that your GoDaddy alert triggered at 6 p.m. today. Does that mean you would enter the trade tomorrow morning?
No, so the GoDaddy alert triggered. That's a fair question. It just updates with that. The GoDaddy alert triggered today, intraday. And what you're saying is right because when I go to it, it looks like it says 6 o'clock. It's just taking my time and saying, oh, it's still active. No, this was an alert. This triggered this trade very specifically. It's custom earnings. It triggers 14 days before earnings. Tomorrow is 13 days before earnings. The trade is over. No, not over. The opening of it is over. Now you could try anyway, right? It's just not exactly what the backtest does. You could, for example, oops. Oh, come on. Sorry. I could go here. Let's just do it. Custom earnings. What if I did it 13 days before earnings? Because that's what it would be tomorrow. So we're going from 3 wins and no losses. Okay, so it doesn't look like it makes that much of a difference. So hypothetically, you could enter it tomorrow. But no, to answer your question, GoDaddy was for today, before the market close.
Yeah, essentially, when you're seeing that aftermarket close, that's just a really good indicator that it did hold through the end of day.
Yes.
Since
Yes.
TradeMachine uses end of day pricing for all entries and exits, it's important to know if it's going to hold through the end of the day. So tonight, when our options update, you will see the trigger for tomorrow because we know that this held through the end of the day.
Yes, it'll say yesterday. Just like this. Yeah.
Is there an area within TradeMachine that offers step-by-step guidance to set up these signals? I think we already
Yeah.
answered that.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time because you showed me how good it was. Go to the Learn tab. What do you want me to say? How do I set up trades or something?
How do I find trades?
Yeah, that's what I meant. How do I find trades? What if we had a chatbot that did this?
Shh, Ophir, you're telling secrets.
How do I find trades up here? And then building your portfolio. So right here. Then yes, the beginning of this webinar, I really do go slowly, all joking aside. Like really slowly. Like here's how you set up your alerts.
Will I get the same trades by looking at today as using the alerts?
Not exactly. So everything that's in the alerts should come up on the Today tab, but the Today tab will get more than the alerts. The alerts are a very specific set of them. So if there's a Venn diagram, I'm going to draw on the screen. If there's a Venn diagram, it would look like this. This would be Today tab, and this would be my alerts.
I will also add that the Today tab has additional requirements back behind for certain
Right.
win rates and everything that plays into it too. So Whereas Ophir's alert might be a little more forgiving. The Today tab may say, you know what, it didn't hit at least a 50% win rate over X amount of days or X amount of period of time. So it's not going to trigger on today.
So this is the Today tab. These are my alerts. Some of them are on the Today tab, some aren't, and they're smaller than all of the Today tab. It's a great picture. Piece of work. It's just art. Okay. Oh my God. It's okay. You 5 more minutes.
You get 5 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to speed round this. How do I add a chart to my platinum membership? Email support.
No, this is, I want people.
What's the annual cost for existing members to upgrade? $9.95, unless you've been around for a billion years, and then email support.
Yeah. It's $1 million.
If
Yeah.
you're subscribed to CML Pro, do you get a package discount for buying Pattern Finder and TradeMachine?
Ooh, a triple subscription. We have some of those people. We have some of those crazy people.
We do have some of those people.
I think we should offer one annual Omni subscription.
Okay, so since we have not thought of this at all, when you email tomorrow, we're going to manifest a number for you that's going to be lower than the current number. I'm going to manifest.
I will talk to Ophir. That's the answer.
Yeah. $1 million. No? Okay.
Are the 3 new strategies still best done at the end of the trading day as the prior? That is with all strategies.
Yeah, so TradeMachine, you do as you wish. I don't follow the rules of TradeMachine, but as a backtester, as I told you, it's got to be fixed. It's got to it's got to measure a very specific thing. It's got to be consistent and it's got to be repeatable. So TradeMachine enters and exits all trades using prices 15 minutes before the close. That's just, you have to pick a time. Otherwise, it's impossible. How can you do a backtest? Do I do that? Not really. But if you to really mimic TradeMachine, yes. End of day entries, end of days exits, yes.
Yeah, but just to put some hard data behind it for what it's worth, I've been placing trades pretty consistently and tracking them for the last year using just the Today tab. I have like a 75, 80% win rate, average trade return like 46%, and I just place the trade whenever I see the alert.
Yeah.
So technically TradeMachine will place it towards the end of the day. Practically speaking, my personal experience is that that's not necessary. You probably
we have no data one way or the other, actually.
Yeah, my own, it's a smaller subset of data, but my own personal data is I place them intraday and I've had a great track record this year. So take it or leave it.
Yeah, I am the same. I don't use end of day. I just roll with it. I also just place when I'm actually actively trading, I can't just do it all at the end of the day. I have too many trades. So
and I'm going to give you the support answer of TradeMachine uses, so if you want to follow the backtester as closely as possible, you use end of day.
Yes, that's true too.
That's the support in me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Will you have 0 DTE studies for future SPX strategies during the cash market?
I think there's a chance we will have that and all of 0 DTE at some point. We are building the infrastructure, using the word loosely, right now in Pattern Finder, and that's why Pattern Finder is kind of getting the biggest upgrades soon. So I'm not promising 0 DTE, and I don't know about, like, I don't know how we would do the cash market, the like 4 to 415, but yeah, I think 0 DTs, I'm gonna say probably.
Are we going to get a liquidity filter on the screener? I'm guessing maybe ProScan is what they're referring to.
I don't know.
Ask in community or email support.
I think they mean
to clarify
on the ProScan, like this ProScan tab.
Okay.
Yeah, my first instinct was ProScan as well, Jason.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's no reason we can't have it there. Same with a portfolio backtest. In theory, at least we could notify you if the liquidity is low or something. I mean, we have our if when you're placing a trade, you end up placing a trade with very wide options, we actually do send a warning, but we could apply the same 1 to 5 liquidity filter throughout the product, especially, for platinum members on the pro scan and on a portfolio backtest, and, just kind of attach it to the ticker wherever it goes. So I think that's something to look for in the future.
Ooh, straight from Jason. So
I'm gonna hold him to that, Ophir. We have it on recording. Do you offer monthly subscriptions for TradeMachine Pro? And I think they're actually referring to the platinum features. And the answer is we have a monthly subscription, but it doesn't get all these features.
yes, but TradeMachine Monthly is awesome. I'm just letting you know
Yeah.
Platinum is better. But TradeMachine, I mean, obviously most of our members are monthly. We have a large chunk that's annual, and because they get it, you're like, oh, this is worth it for us. That's why I want everyone who has a monthly to just try it for free, legitimately for free. You don't have to cancel it, like legitimately. I think it will change your mind fast.
Yeah, pretty much everything, the annual subscription is more powerful and faster and more convenient, but you can get pretty much all of the value, or 98% of the value, out of the monthly. But when you've tried the monthly and you're like, hey, this is a great product, you can't say the word recommend, but you get a lot out of platinum. It just makes your whole trading experience better. You can get more trades in sooner, do more analysis. So it's the right step once you've tested the water. It's the right move.
It just makes it takes the effort. It takes some of the effort. It just like liquidity is just a big deal. Finding the options is a big deal. It's just way easier. It's way easier.
Yeah, they're exactly right. It is so much easier. If you're on the fence and you're not sure and you don't remember the things that Ophir said tonight, or since it was broken up, we do have a video on Learn. If you just search upgrading to TradeMachine Platinum, I think it'll come up even if you just search upgrade. And it goes through all of the features that you get with TradeMachine Platinum. And I made Ophir slow down to do it, so it's really, really well easy to follow. And there is some instructions. It doesn't work for everybody, but some people can upgrade from the account tab if you're just ready to do it. I'm working on getting that for all users, but like I said, since we have some people that have been around for a long time, it's not easily done for those users.
We can just tell them the truth. There are some members who signed up for TradeMachine for $49.
And they've stuck around.
Thousands, yes.
You could also you could do nothing in TradeMachine. You could do almost nothing in TradeMachine.
It's true. They stuck around with optimism. I will say that.
Yes. I'm not going to argue. They definitely helped build a lot of the things that you see too, because they stuck with us and they shared ideas. Even when
I think there was just a backtest tab and a scan tab. I think that's all. Right?
It was.
Yeah, I think you're
there
right.
was like an insights. I think maybe the next one was
but insights was whatever. Yeah, backtest
was pretty useless.
Yeah, it wasn't useless. Just it was thinner.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Useless. He built it and he called it useless.
I just mean when it was. When we started off, the tool could do 5% of what it can do now. And the tool TradeMachine is freaking really powerful and has there's no alerts, there's no today tab.
Yeah.
I'm just really in love with the product right now. It really it's what you're hoping for when you build something. It's like it helps you make money if you just follow the plan. Yes. Put a little effort into it. So I'm over the roof about it now. But it was very limited at the beginning. It was a great first step, and we deeply appreciate everyone who joined us then. Because without those users, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are now.
That's right.
Exactly. And we won't get to the next step without whoever wants to join us now and stick around. And like we said earlier, we don't raise pricing for anybody that keeps an active account. So if you sign up at $9.95 today and you never cancel, it doesn't matter what features we put in. Like they said, we've added so many features and we still have people paying $49 a month. Yeah. So if you're willing to stick around, you're going to be rewarded for it.
This is what TradeMachine used to be.
And not just that, there were like half of the strategies.
And no AI.
I mean, there are no technical indicators and no alerts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we do reward loyalty here. So
Big time. Big time. We have people paying $10 for CML Pro.
yes,
$10. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you think you're going to use it, now's the time to jump in. You're going to get it for a lower rate than what is on the page to sell it normally now. And I just heard Jason commit to more features to TradeMachine. So
We're doing
at very
Pattern
least,
Finder first.
at very least, you're going to get some new features, but there's definitely things in the pipeline in the future for TradeMachine that's going to make it even more powerful, and you'll get them for free.
All right. That will be the end of our Q&A, although the Q&A, the questions are robust. There's a robust amount of questions, and
Yes.
there are a robust
And-
number of people still live. So
Yes.
I feel like
And
we could sway the election right now. That's how many people we have.
you're not Taylor
jumping-
Swift.
Yeah, that's right.
Ophir. You're not Taylor Swift.
I'm going to answer one that came through chat. I'm sorry. Sashi asked, does TradeMachine Alert give profit target? Essentially, I mean, the closing rules are that, and actually that's something I've learned from Ophir is to set stops and limits much more aggressively than I used to. I used to always just let trades run to the end. And yeah, you just get a much more consistent, return on your trades by setting stops and limits, taking a lot of the volatility out. So yeah, the closing rules are essentially the profit target. I mean, it's not, yeah, if it says a stop limit, I mean that's or close after X number of days, that's the way to get out.
Yeah, follow
Okay.
the rules.
That's
Follow the rules. Yeah.
If we
Okay.
missed a question,
Or
ask-
600.
or yeah, too many. I know we did. If you're not a current member and you have questions to make the decision to become a member, email
Go
support
here.
support at cmlviz.com. Or if you are a current member and you have questions about TradeMachine and you want to know more, you can also email us at support or ask in community. And Max, Ophir, Jason, somebody will get back to you.
Yes.
So
Okay.
reach out.
So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We've gone 17 minutes over. I apologize. I hope you enjoyed. I get the clappy emoji, floaty emoji is pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, whether or not you're a TradeMachine member, right? Like make sure if you do it on purpose, and make sure the goal is you know this is for money. There's nothing good or bad. It's just it's not for fun. At least I don't think it is. I mean, you can have fun when you're making money, but try not to go down that path, because then when you're losing money, you don't have fun. If you're a current TradeMachine member, email support, just try platinum. It is truly non-committal. There's nothing you have to do. You don't have to say, I don't want it. It will just disappear in a week if you don't want it. It's not one of those things where it rolls over. We don't touch your credit card. If you're not a member, it costs $1 to try, honestly. And while you're at it, it costs 50 cents to try Pattern Finder. If you want Pattern Finder and you're a current TradeMachine member, email support, you can get Pattern Finder. Other than that, have a fabulous rest of your week. I don't think we have, let me just make sure, is there anything crazy happening this week economically? Oh, tomorrow morning we get retail sales. Okay, I was gonna say there's no big deal coming. Okay, we got retail sales tomorrow. So Duck, that comes out, of course, at 5:30 a.m.
And then we're what, a week and a half away from earnings season, really getting jumped in.
Yeah, and then Duck. So have a fabulous rest of your week. Have a fabulous Q4 for CML Pro members. I will see you at the end of the year, and Pattern Finder members possibly before then. Okay, thanks,
And
guys.
yes, this will be emailed out, Chris.
Yes, emailed.
Yes.
Yes, automatically emailed. Yep.
Oh.
Okay, thank you
We
all.
will hopefully have it to you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye, guys.